Hey, how's it going? So, I get a lot of people asking me for advice on starting a YouTube channel, specifically for RuneScape videos, which is like really weird to me because I still feel like I'm new to YouTube myself, and I do consider myself a new YouTuber. And I really just got into making videos, like really got into making them in September, so it's only been like 4 months, and I am still in shock about hitting 10,000 subscribers, and getting 10,000 so quickly, I really can't believe it. And I know for a fact that a lot of you guys have always thought about starting a YouTube channel, and you have great ideas, and you have series planned in your head, but you've just never done anything about it, and maybe it's because you don't want to bother, or you're scared of failure, or commitment, or any combination of reasons. So today, I want to give you guys my tips on what helped me out, because I know I would have loved to have some kind of guide, or help, or some kind of encouragement to lead me along when I first got into making videos. And in just a minute, we're going to go into the YouTube browser and I'll show you more things in there. But if you are wanting to start a YouTube channel and make videos, you need to figure out what hurdle is holding you back. So for some people, the hurdle that they say they have is that they're scared of commitment. And the thing is, you don't have to post every day. You don't have to make a posting schedule. There's no rules or requirements for YouTube. You can do whatever you want. And especially if it's your first time posting a video, then making a posting schedule should be the last thing on your mind. You should be focusing more on what kind of videos you want to make and what your style of video making is, which I'll talk more about in a bit, but all you need to be concerned about from the start is making that first video and seeing how that goes. Another issue people say that they have is that they're just too lazy to make the videos, and it's kind of tough for me to help you solve something like that. But pretty much my best advice is that you just have to do it, and it's kind of like jumping into a pool. You can slowly walk into a pool and barely make any progress, or you can jump right in and get right into it without having any doubts or second guessing yourself. And then another problem that people say they have is that they're using a laptop and it's really old, and they don't even have the software to record and edit video. But let me tell you that before I got my desktop like a week ago, my laptop is like 4 years old and filled with all kinds of junk on there, and I recorded and edited videos on there just fine for months. And I know some of your laptops are even older than mine is, but you gotta remember, RuneScape is a very old game, and people have been using unregistered hypercam and editing videos for well over a decade now. But let's go into the browser now so I can help you guys find some software if you need it. Personally, I use Camtasia, but there are a lot of other good options. Sony Vegas is really popular too. For recording, I would recommend OBS. I use Camtasia to record, but OBS is probably one of the most popular ones. But okay, so we're looking for a screen recorder. Here's what you do. Screen recorder. And here we go. Here's one right here, screen recorder. I'm sure that works just fine. I don't know what this is. It's not. I'm not trying to advertise them or anything. It's just. It's the first thing that popped up. I mean, there's plenty of options. You could scroll down. You could search Reddit for it too. Reddit's always a good source I like to use. And same deal with the editing software. So we'll just type in free editing software. And we'll see what comes up. So you see all these options right here, top 6 free video editing software programs, and you got all these options here. You got all this open source software, it looks like. I mean, honestly, Google is your best friend with this kind of stuff. There really are a lot of options, and see, even if you're using a Mac, you could still make videos. I know they discontinued Movie Maker on Windows 10, but if you have an older version of Windows, Movie Maker could be a great option as well. So after you find your motivation to make videos and you have the software, then you're all set to start making your videos. Now, you won't get any views for a while. I mean, there are exceptions, like if you post things on the day of release and you're the first one to do it. Like, for example, I'm in my really old videos right now. This is from September. This is around the time I started posting every day. And this is really like the video that kicked my channel off right here, Fossil Island Herbivore Hunter Guide. I posted this on the day of release, and it got a lot of views, and that's kind of what kicked things off. And then I got another video that kind of blew up, this one too, and then this one and this one. It's like having a bunch of good videos in a row that start blowing up. That's one amazing way that can definitely kickstart a channel and blow it up into oblivion, and that's exactly what happened with me. So posting things on day of release could possibly be a good way to start up a channel, but now for me, I don't do any videos on updates because it feels like every single YouTuber makes a video about it, and I don't know about you, but at least for me, when I see dozens of YouTubers make video about the most recent update, like you see, I just typed in Dragon Slayer 2, and there's all these videos from all these YouTubers, and I might watch like 1 or 2 of them, maybe like a friend and Jakiosaurus or something, but most of those videos I'm not going to watch because it becomes so redundant. and to me it feels like watching the same thing over and over again. So what kind of videos should you make? That is going to be up to you. I'm just here to guide you in the right direction, but the thing that I've learned about making videos is that you've got to keep trying different styles of videos, and keep trying different styles of thumbnails, keep trying different styles of titles, and just keep tweaking things until something starts to work. And you'll know something is working when you find something that you enjoy making and people enjoy watching. And every big YouTuber has their own style of video. So for example, Slayer Music makes quest guides, Moplox makes countdowns, Jimmy makes skits, a bunch of YouTubers like Torvesta and Framed and Sir Pugger focus themselves around PKing, while others focus more on progress videos like Alkin or Rice Cup, and some people make informative videos like Theoatrix. And then there's also people who make a huge variety of videos and don't necessarily focus themselves on one specific niche like Soup or Small EXP Lamp or Eevescape, and myself included. And yes, I am reading this off a list that I just typed into a notepad. But the point is, every successful YouTuber has some kind of niche, or niche? I think it's niche. Every successful YouTuber has some kind of niche that works for them and that they stick with, and you'll find one that works for you as well. You probably won't have it figured out right from the start, and it will most likely take you some time to figure out what it is for you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one of those categories I just listed, because there are so many different kinds of niches, and maybe you'll come up with your own that will set you apart from everyone else. At least in my opinion, progress videos can be a great way to kickstart a channel, but you can't just record each level and say, oh look, here's a level. Oh look, here's another level. People want to watch you for your personality. The progress in those types of videos, they're important, but that comes second. You can be absolutely terrible at the game, but if you're funny or interesting, people will still enjoy watching you, and when it comes down to it, at least for me, the point of making videos is to entertain. So if I'm able to entertain you for a few minutes every day, then I consider that to be a success. Now, the number one most important thing that I believe leads to success on YouTube is being consistent, which means make a schedule and stick with it. And I understand that things come up in real life, and that's to be expected. And like I said before, you don't need to do it right from the start, but once you get into the groove of things and you're comfortable making videos, then it's so important to be consistent with some kind of schedule, whether it's once a week or once a day. Now, posting once a day is like a full-out commitment, and I wouldn't really expect most other people to be able to do that, but even if you don't want to make a schedule, at least post like every few days or a couple times a week, or I mean, even if it's once a week at the same time every week, that still gives people something to look forward to. Being consistent with your videos is a great way to build a loyal viewer base of people who expect your videos to come out at a certain time, and they'll be more likely to watch them right away. Now, another huge aspect of making YouTube videos, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard this term before, it's the YouTube algorithm. So how likely are people to see your videos? How often will you come up in people's recommended videos? What channels will you show up in their related sections? What country will you get the most views from? And there's honestly an infinite amount of questions related to getting your channel noticed, and it all comes down to this thing called the YouTube algorithm. And this invisible force is what controls all of YouTube, and it's constantly self-changing. And even the people who made it have no idea how it works, but it pretty much runs all the analytics on YouTube, and it's actually scary how little anyone knows about it. So anything I'm about to say about the YouTube algorithm should be taken with a grain of salt, but by trial and error, I figured out some things about it, which again, it's constantly changing, so it might already be irrelevant. But I believe that likes and dislikes have a huge impact on the algorithm, but I believe that dislikes actually have just as much of an impact as likes. So for example, a video with 100 likes and 0 dislikes will actually probably show up less than a video with 50 likes but 200 dislikes. And I think that's because more people are interacting with the video, and I think that that's something that the algorithm likes because it shows more people are interested in it, whether or not that they like the video itself, because YouTube doesn't care so much about the actual content as they do about the potential ad revenue they can get from it. And a perfect example of that, we're going to open up a new YouTube tab. We'll type in OSRS, and the first thing that comes up, Return of Wilderness. So that's a perfect example right there of even a video with a bunch of dislikes will still show up really high in the algorithm. Something else about the algorithm, which ties in about building a dedicated viewer base, is that how your videos do in the first few hours, I believe can really set the stage for how much your video is going to get noticed. And for me, the majority of views that my videos will get will all occur within the first 12 hours, and the majority of those views will occur within the first 3 hours. So if we look at the graph of the views from this video, this is pretty standard. You can see the first 3 hours are really where most of the views come in from, and after that, it's just kind of steady. and here's some older videos. These don't really get that many views because they're really old and everyone's watched them already. But definitely the first few hours can have a very huge impact. So more likes and dislikes are important, and it really doesn't matter which one it is. I really believe that both add just as much of a boost to your video. And then we've also got comments, which I believe are important as well, because again, that's more interaction with the video, which the algorithm likes to see. I'm not sure how commenting or replying on your own video actually affects the algorithm, because it's probably smart enough to know that people just spam their own video with tags and comments from their own account if that was the case. But either way, it's still really important to reply to comments on your videos, because that's how you get to know your YouTube viewers and interact with them and make them more likely to come back. And I personally enjoy waking up and reading all the comments and taking the time to respond to most of them. I consider it like another part of my daily routine, and it's cool to see what everyone is up to and get feedback about the video. Now, speaking of feedback, I'm going to use that to transition into talking about feedback and taking feedback into account. And guys, I know I've had some more controversial videos, but I promise I don't wake up and say, I'm going to make a video today that's going to upset a lot of people. I try and make videos that people will enjoy, but we're all human and we can't all be perfect, and there will be times that you'll make videos that you put a lot of time and effort into, and you'll find out when you post it that people absolutely hate it. Now, there are other examples like this one. I mean, it's RuneScape 3. Like, what do you'd expect people to dislike it just because it says RuneScape 3. I mean, I disliked it myself. But of course, it still is important to take a look at the amount of dislikes you get. And for me, I like to see a 10-to-1 ratio of likes to dislikes, but you might have your own preference once you start making more videos. But when you first start out, you'll probably have a very low dislike ratio, like maybe you'll get 20 likes and 0 or 1 dislike. But typically, as time goes on, more people will find your channel, and some of those people will just not like you no matter what you do and watch and dislike every single video. And that's just how it goes, and you can't really please everyone and be perfect and never mess up unless you're Alkin. But otherwise, the majority of YouTubers do have people that dislike their videos just because the people simply don't like them. And the way you gotta look at it is that those few people who are disliking your videos are helping you out, because their dislike and view is going to help you out in the YouTube algorithm and make your video more likely to get noticed. However, it is important to take negative feedback into account, because people will understand if you make a not so good video every once in a while, but when you keep doing it over and over, people will get sick of it, and they'll realize that it's not just a one-off thing, and they'll unsubscribe and stop watching you, and you probably don't want that. And don't get me wrong, it is important to make videos that you enjoy making, but it's always good to have that feedback in the back of your mind and use it to improve for the future. As for the comments themselves, once you start getting noticed more, you will eventually get trolls and people commenting about how terrible you are and how much they hate your videos. And it can be rough at first, but you'll eventually grow a thick skin to it and stop caring about what people think, and you could ignore the comment or delete it, or if they consistently comment weird stuff, then just block them and you're done. And it's pretty obvious to tell when someone is just trolling versus when they're giving honest, constructive feedback. And don't take anything personally or take anything to heart, because I heard this from someone I look up to, and that's that a bunch of the Old School Runescape community are just goofballs. And that's so true, and that is really all that it boils down to. So keep comments in the back of your head to refer to when you're making videos in the future, and don't take mean comments to heart, because people love controversy, and you'll discover that the more you make videos. I'm trying to think of anything else I might have forgotten. For my thumbnails, I use paint.net, which is a great piece of free software, and it's like an advanced version of Microsoft Paint, but a lot of other people just use the print screen function and take interesting screenshots of whatever they're doing for the video, but you just gotta find something that works for you. But I know for a fact that there's a lot of stuff that I either forgot or didn't mention in the video, because this is such a huge topic to cover. So if you have any questions at all about starting or growing a YouTube channel, then please ask away in the comments, and I'll try my best to help you out with whatever problems you have. And again, I still consider myself new to YouTube, since I've only been doing it consistently for like 4 months now, so I may not be the best one to give advice, but this is what I figured out from these last few months. But I hope that this video was able to help you out and hopefully guide you in the right direction. But that is going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.